Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy any investment based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Hello and welcome to the Midweek Takeaway. Today we're joined by Kevin McNulty, Senior Geologist, and Cathal Jones, CFO of Karelian Diamond Resources. Welcome back to the podcast, gents.
Thanks, Phil. Good to see you.
Absolutely. So,
thanks very much, Phil.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's great to have you back. Obviously, we saw some recent news where the company provided an update on its licensing and operations. In Kuhmo, Finland, the company has extended exploration licenses, including the new Kuhmo 1 reservation at Seitaperä, and plans further drilling on its green diamond discovery. The Seitaperä kimberlite permit has been extended for 3 years, reinforcing the area's potential as a major diamond province. In Latjoki, Finland, landowner compensation is expected to be finalised in H1 2025, a key step towards mine development with strategic partners being sought. So, Kevin, I mean, if you could just talk us through this news, and obviously one thing I want to focus on is this talk of obviously diamonds and particularly the rare green diamond in the Kuhmo region of Finland. You know, in the past, we've seen the announcement of the discovery of the green diamond. I think it was back in January 27, and this diamond was described as a clear pale green dodecahedron, obviously a very rare find. So just talk us through the latest news and then give us a bit of background onto the search for this elusive rare green diamond, please.
Yeah, we as I say, we found the diamond in Till. We were following up a regional Till program that had discovered indicator minerals. And then we did some more sampling in the area. We discovered this green diamond in Till. As you know, a diamond is the best indicator mineral for a diamondiferous source that you can find. And obviously, being a colored diamond, a green diamond particularly, they're extremely rare. So knowing that the source could contain these rare green diamonds makes it even more exciting, because the value added by those colored stones is very significant in the diamond market. The other thing that we've been doing is we've been following that up systematically, and then we have just tried, we did some airborne magnetics with the drone, and we identified a whole series of targets. And then just recently, we released it in January, I think it was, the 24th of January, the EM drone survey that we've done. Now, this is a real new, innovative technique. I don't know if anyone else has been doing it, but certainly we are the first in Finland, if not the first, one of the first in the world doing this type of technique. And it has picked out a stonker of an anomaly. And I say, it makes me so excited about this. It's just amazing. We actually have
is that a technical term, Kevin? Stonker?
Yeah.
So you're pretty convinced nobody dropped a green diamond out their pocket now?
No, I'm very convinced that no one's dropped a green diamond, because, as I say, we have all these indicator minerals as well, including G9s, G10s, and I don't get into all the technical bits about that. But as I say, this anomaly is right up ice from it, and it is significant. And we can actually model this through the geophysics to depth, and it shows a similar type of carrot shape that you have for a kimberlite, which again is fantastic, and we get very excited about this. I know I wave my hands around because I'm actually so excited about it. But as you know, kimberlites are a conveyor. Diamonds form at depth, and basically a kimberlite takes those diamonds at depth and brings them up to surface through these sort of carrot-shaped tubes. And when we model this geophysics anomaly, it forms one of these carrot-shaped tubes. So that, in conjunction with the indicators down ice from it, the green diamond down ice from it, makes me super, super excited. So as our friend Mr. Trump would say, drill, baby, drill. This is really a significant target.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to come on to next. So obviously, you alluded to the fact that you announced in January that the detailed electromagnetic EM survey using this unmanned aerial vehicle, which I'm assuming is effectively a drone. And obviously you spotted these anomalies, the presence of kimberlite, which you've talked about in the past, these kimberlite targets. So you've identified multiple kimberlite targets. And what is the actual follow-up program now? There's talk of excavation and drilling from the RNS, if my memory serves correct.
Yeah, we've already got a whole series of indicators, as you'll see on that. I think it's on slide 34 in our presentation. You'll see the anomaly, but you'll also see the down ice where we've collected samples that we are waiting on those in ODM to get the results of. But you'll also see where we have the results as well, and also where the green diamond was discovered. So the next step is get those results in from ODM. Hopefully that'll be just before the PDAC. We're hoping, or just in around that time, which is a great time to get it. And then it's basically look at that target and basically drill that target. So
yeah. So would it
I'm
be
very
safe?
excited about the target.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, would it be safe to say that the company's aim is to kind of, find this world-class diamond deposit, and obviously in Finland, which we've talked about in the past with
Yes.
Professor Richard, about, comparatives to Russia's, I think it was the Lomonosov and the Grib deposits, which are not too far away, and that would then potentially become the effectively lead to be the first diamond mined in Europe if we exclude Russia from the equation. Would that be fair to say?
It would, and we have obviously, Latioki, which we're bringing through its licensing permissions to bring it to mine development. We still have to do the bulk sampling and full feasibility study on that as well. But it is quite an exciting project in its own right. And as I say, it's got, again, coloured stones, which make it very economically viable, particularly these pinks. In Latioki's case, it's got pinks and it has some yellows as well. But yeah, so the coloured stones are, and that just shows how complex the mantle is underneath Finland, that it gets these coloured stones present there rather than the clear whites.
So, Cathal, tell us from a financial perspective, how do we think or hope that the things are going to move forward in Finland? Because obviously, as a company, you're not cash rich. You're going to need a partner. So, how do you envisage that happening in terms of the Finnish side of things?
So what we put it, I suppose we put that into two boxes in Finland. We have the Kuhmo exploration program, which is relatively shallow drilling, but equally we can't waste money by blanket drilling an area. So we'll have to take in our samples, we have to do our work and carefully select a number of holes because we want to make our money last. Certainly I need to make our money last. That's the way we roll. But from a Latioki perspective then, the fact that the landowner compensation situation is coming to a head, and we expect it to come to a head over the coming months, certainly within H2 or H1 of this year. We are looking to see, can we get a strategic partner in there to do the big spend? We can't raise, as you know yourselves, easily without massive dilution for our existing shareholders, which we don't want. We're very aligned with them ourselves. We can't raise 5-10 million to go down the initial steps of bringing in a mine. But what we can do is attract in a partner to do that. Now, the diamond market itself is a difficult place to be at the moment, and we know that, but it's a market that we operate in. But in terms of coloured European diamonds as a niche, that's a good niche to be in. There's a market for European produced diamonds, sustainable European produced diamonds.
Yeah, we're not talking about
and the coloured niche of natural diamonds is up in the top right-hand corner of where you want to be diamond-wise. They're the targets that we have in Kuhmo, and that's what Latioki is.
Okay, so we're not talking about African blood diamonds and all white. We're talking about European source diamonds that are of varying different colours, and it seems to be that the colourful ones are a premium of what, 3, 4, 5 times the normal price of a diamond.
It could be a significant multiple of that.
Yeah.
But it can be up to 20 times or more of a colourless diamond. But again, with diamonds, it depends on size. There's a whole host of factors, so it's difficult to compare like with like in terms of an easy analysis of diamonds from a pricing perspective.
Obviously, you've also got to say the size of them, whether they're industrial diamonds or obviously jewelry quality diamonds. So tell us what you think, Kevin, in terms of all of that as a perspective of these green ones that you were getting super excited about.
Well, certainly, just to go back to Latioki, and certainly what's been shown in some of the kimberlites in Finland is there's a very high quantity of gemstone material present in the kimberlite. So certainly over 60%, which is very high for kimberlite, of the diamonds recovered from the samples so far to date in Latioki were of gem quality, and only 40% were not of gem quality. That's a really high proportion. And that was through the Ashton bulk samples that were done in the past and whatever else. But yeah, most of the diamonds that have been found in Finland and the work that has been done that has shown that the stones in Finland are very high quality, as I say. And the other thing that's been shown, certainly in the microdiamonds and some of the diamonds that are present in Latioki and other places, is there is an extraordinary number of coloured stones present, which means obviously the mantle underneath Finland underwent significant tectonics to do that. But those coloured stones are where the value is at, as Cathal has just explained. So
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting.
So I was going to ask two questions, just so people can understand. One, how do all these diamonds come to surface? Because, I'm no geologist, but 500 kilometers down, there's abundance of diamonds, or this is certainly how they form. How do they get to the surface? And you started to answer that second question. How do they become colourful instead of clear?
Sure. Well, there's different ways of making them colourful. So, but yeah, they form at 500. Generally 500. The peridotitic diamonds form at about 500 kilometers deep, and then you get other types of diamonds called eclogitic diamonds, which are brought in underneath by subducting plate tectonics. So you get carbon brought into the mantle, and they form. But basically, then a kimberlite, if you can think of a kimberlite like a conveyor, it scoops up the diamonds in a sort of magma, and then brings that up to surface like a volcano, and it erupts at surface. But in that magma, it carries the diamonds. So it's a conveyor that drags the diamonds from really deep, 500 kilometers below, and then brings that right up to surface in a generally a tube or carrot-like body. Okay, so you have this.
So those diamonds are actually normally sort of encased in the lava, effectively.
Correct.
So you're basically not crushing the lava, you're chipping them out, or how do you get them out?
Yeah, they're actually in xenoliths, so they're what's referred to as big nodules of material which can contain quite significant, but they actually disaggregate, and then the diamonds will get scattered in the magma. So, and that's why you want a rapidly ascending magma, otherwise you'll get pitting and scorching of the diamonds, or even burning off of the smaller diamonds. So if the magma is rapid, it'll allow the diamonds to come to surface fairly rapidly, and it won't affect the diamonds at all. And then you were asking about the coloured ones. So underneath at the 500 kilometers, there's tectonics happening there, that some of the diamonds can get twisted and contorted slightly. And it's actually that twist and contortion that forms the pink and red diamonds. Okay. The yellow ones is the amount of nitrogen present, and that will form the yellow stones. And then the green one will be whether it comes in contact with a radiation source. It gives its green color. So there's different ways of forming these different colored stones.
The pink diamonds have really been crying then, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, they've basically been crying. Yeah, they've been twisted around a little bit, and they're not happy with their situation before they erupt up the surface. But they are.
We will definitely have to do this, I think, in more detail another time. In terms of the overall thing, because this being only a midweek takeaway, but I want to bring you both to the other part of Karelian diamonds, because I mean, Karelian until a couple of years ago was what we've just talked about, which was Finland. But now all of this discovery in Northern Ireland in terms of what's in Fermanagh and what's in Antrim, tell us a bit about that, Kevin, and then I'll come on to Cathal.
Sure. Yeah, we started out an exploration program there, which we were looking at, but we discovered these significant indicator minerals that show possibly the presence of copper, nickel, PGE, platinum group elements present there. So it was pretty exciting. We started to do some more work and take out some ground. We got an international expert, a guy called Dr. Larry Hulbert, to look at it for us. And he was amazed at what we had in this area. And as I say, we've put quite a few slides up in the information there, but we have basically identified a whole series of targets within these areas, including in the Coalbrook area. We've identified 45 targets for further follow-up work, which we have been doing. We've been doing some grassroots work on these, and we'll be doing some geochemical sampling on these. And it's basically to whittle those down to drilling targets. And similarly, in the Antrim area, we have some identified a whole significant series of targets there. But it's quite exciting. It's a whole new area that hasn't really been explored before, and we're getting some fantastic results. And there's already been platinum nugget found up in Larne, up near Antrim there, which was quite significant. But there's also been bedrock platinum found in the area as well, associated down in Carlingford, associated with the dikes in the area. And that's really our target, is these dikes that are running along out from basically, if you've seen Iceland, these rifting sort of opening, and you get these big lava flows and whatever else. Well, that's exactly what dikes are. So they bring up the mineralization system, a bit like what's happening in Iceland now. But this was 60 million years ago, when the Atlantic Ocean started to rift and midget in the beginning, formed all these dikes. So that's basically the mineralization we're chasing. But it will be very similar to, if you're familiar with the Eagle Mine in America, in Michigan, that's pretty much our target. So it's a very small footprint, but very rich in copper, nickel type of mineralization stuff.
And this gentleman that you mentioned has been involved with the Eagle Mine in America or not?
He's been involved with a whole series of things. I think he has been involved with the Eagle, but he's considered one of the leading experts in the world in it. So it's pretty excellent to have him on board, working with us and identifying, helping us to identify. And as I say, he's pretty excited about these targets that we have. So
good.
As I say, and the chemistry is right, everything is right. So we're moving it forward.
Good. So Cathal, you actually now have this guy on board, as opposed to just as a consultant. Is that correct? Is that what I read from the presentation?
No, Larry is working with us as a consultant, but he is working with us. As I think to quote Larry, when you get as long in the tooth as he is, you work on things that excite you, that are material, and that's what he likes about this project. So when he came on in the beginning, it was to do some work around Fermanagh, things we picked up in that license following the initial exploration. The work went so well, we've extended that. He's currently working on the wider, including up as far as Antrim and potential prospectivity. And what we're looking to do is have something that's material, with a material set of targets that have been helped. We've had Larry as an industry expert help to refine, that we can then present to somebody, say, look, as a strategic partner, this would make sense for you to look at. It ranks well, from a key target perspective with other target models, such as the target model that was used at Eagle and elsewhere. Larry can talk very well to that. He's very excited by it, and that
we'll have to get him on. And on that basis, also you've got a plan to go to PDC for looking for this $4 million, basically to forward these processes.
Well, correct.
Yeah, it's a whole new district, that area. So it's an exciting area. So anyone looking at it would say, wow, this is a large ground holding with real potential present there. So yeah.
And does the $4 million cover Fermanagh and Antrim, or is it just Fermanagh?
No, it would be both.
Okay, very
good.
So
the intention is to have a material drilling program for somebody to do. So this is an exciting time for that family of metals when you're looking at potential demand, not this year or next year, but even further out, significantly further out, when you'll be bringing a mine in potentially in Northern Ireland. This is a really attractive space to be in. But there's no point in sitting down and with a significant strategic partner to drill a hole or 3 holes. You want to show this is really material. It's got significant potential. It's got multiple targets, and we have put ourselves in a position to be able to present that. And present it really credibly, Kevin. I think will be a fair.
Yeah, no, I can see from the presentation it looks tremendous, and obviously I was with you guys last. I dare to say summer, that it was the summer, even though it was absolutely cacking it down in Fermanagh. When we went in that river, and you were showing me, what effectively is potentially there, and it needs drill to find that, and the Northern Ireland economy would be blessed by it, I think, even though obviously there'll be a few people saying, "Oh, don't do our drill here." But if it's district scale, as obviously you think it's possibly is, then it would be an incredible addition to what you already have with the diamonds. But I think we will leave it there, and we're going to have you on the Sunday roast, I think, in the not too distant future, and go into a lot more detail about the different parts of each project, so that people can get a much greater understanding of it. But yeah, I think it's onwards and upwards. I mean, I'm not even going to ask for your comment on the share price, but the share price looks like it's based on you completely failing as it stands at the minute, when you have 2 extremely good assets that have got to have significant value.
Can't disagree.
Okay, well, obviously we look forward to welcoming you back on, and maybe after, I think it's March the 2nd to the 5th PDAC in Toronto, Canada, maybe you can come back and give us your thoughts on how how that was. And we say Cathal Jones and Kevin McNulty of Karelian Diamond Resources, thanks very much for appearing on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Phil.
Cheers, guys.
This podcast was brought to you by Roast PR Limited. If you would like to appear on a future episode of The Sunday Roast, please email admin@thesundayroast.net.